I have been joined by defense expert Major Mohammed Ali Shah to speak more on this. Very good morning, Major Shah. And again, another illegal occupation from China, which we have seen. We keep witnessing such acts by China for every day almost, and now they have put on mobile towers near Pangong area. They have built a bridge. What do you have to say on that?
China is known for this. They are known for grabbing land, and in fact, you look what they did a year and a half back in Nepal. They did some slicing, and they entered the Hamla district in Nepal, and they constructed pillar number 11 and pillar number 12 illegally, and they denied the fact that they entered Nepal until when the satellite images showed up, and the Nepalese Prime Minister had a lot of embarrassment because the people were putting up these satellite images, where he had said, no Chinese came to our boundary. Now China will continue doing this. There have been cases of Chinese trying to construct bridges, railway tracks near on our border completely. And since the entire area of 3,488 kilometers stretches of perception, it's a line of actual control. It's not a line of control like Pakistan, where there's a demarcated line. So China will take advantage of that. They are, in fact, there are frequent patrols where you find the Indian troops and the Chinese troops quarreling and arguing, and there have been fist fights. That this is our land, no, this is our land, but as per our map, this area demarcates our side. So China will continue doing that, and they are not to be trusted. They always have a strategy of taking one step behind when everyone's looking. But when no one is looking, they take 2 steps forward, and they believe in winning wars without fighting. That means psych up the enemy, psych up the opponents before the match starts itself. You look what they are doing in Taiwan. They are doing a military exercise. Just 2 days back, they did this military exercise where 500 kilograms of bomb was exploded. I mean, that's ridiculous. They are doing missile testing. They are doing all kinds. They are trying to arm twist. They do not get along with their neighbors, with none of the neighbors, with Vietnam, be it Malaysia, be it with India, be it with anyone, be it with Japan for that matter. They are known for these kind of tactics, but India has a befitting reply for such people, for such tricksters who try to fool around. So yes, they would not be able to be too successful with India as far as India is concerned, because India's borders are safeguarded by India's defense forces, by the Army, Navy, Air Force. They spend 4 times than us in terms of defense. Yes, they don't deny that, but that gives a perception to the world that they are stronger than us in defense. But that's not the case. That's not the case at all. In fact, in the high altitude areas, the aircrafts take off with half payload of fuel, which means they have the capacity of filling, not top up, not full fuel, but only half. So that itself puts them at a disadvantage. So China will continue doing these tricks. It's about time that they have to stop. The Western powers are totally against China's aggression. In fact, Quad was formed for that. Australia, India, Japan and America. We have to, at the end of the day, we have to curb China's aggression all over the world, in fact. Otherwise, they will create havoc. Look at the Wuhan virus, which we all know as coronavirus, but it actually is Wuhan virus. So China will do biological warfare, they'll do Islamic slicing, they'll do land grabbing, they will do arm twisting, they'll do bullying, they'll try whatever stunts they possible. You know, China, Solomon Islands, there's a place called Solomon Islands. It's an island of 6 major islands and over 900 minor islands. So it's difficult to actually, it's so scattered, it's difficult to control them. I'll give you an example, Renga. Like, for example, if you are traveling from Delhi to Jaipur in a car and you stop midway for tea, there are 4 members, it's easy to tell them, oh, guys, get back in the car. But when there's a bus going for a wedding and it's all helter-skelter all over and they stop for a break somewhere, it will be difficult to get everyone together. Similar thing is with Solomon Islands. Now, Solomon Islands had a pact with Australia in the year 2018, because Solomon Islands is so scattered. They often have issues of cargo, pirate, gang fights. So Solomon Islands and Australia came into a pact where Australia will protect Solomon Islands in terms of the law and order. So they can deploy their police, the military, the civilian deployments are most welcome in Solomon Islands. But Solomon Islands and China, very secretly on the sly, have done a pact where, as per that pact, because the documents were leaked just about 4 or 5 days back, As per that fact, it gives China the authority and the right to send Chinese troops into Solomon Islands as a peacekeeping troop. Which, in other words, means now Chinese troops would be, if that happens, if China does send their peacekeeping troops to Solomon Islands, China would be 2,000 kilometers just close to Australia. And since the world is round, it's a globe, right? So even if you go towards the east, if you go round west, Chinese troops will be very close to the west, to America as well, which is not a good sign at all, which amounts to the same thing for Russia and Ukraine. The NATO troops would have been in the entire 2,995 kilometer stretch of Ukraine-Russian border. The Ukrainian troops would have come and sat very close to Russia for that matter, and nobody would like that. So China, when they make illegal constructions, when they do unethical measures, when they do the worst one can imagine in this world, it has to be called out by the international community. It's not enough by just calling out. Actions have to be taken. US imposed sanctions on Russia, right? China and Russia, they become friends. Russia, which was our friend actually. It still is, but China trying to take advantage by using all unethical measures. It's like you being friends with a person and a third person comes in and tries to cause a rift between you and your friend and makes friends with your friend. Not right. So China will continue doing this. You have to understand the psychology, and their Prime Minister is trying to become more powerful than Mao for that matter. So that has to be called out and severe action has to be taken against it. Otherwise, China will continue misbehaving with the entire world.
Right, Major Shah, thank you for sharing your views on this particular issue.